said, I am founder of the Media 2012 network, and just to explain a bit about what that involves, I've been to 6 Olympic Games covering it as an independent journalist. I walked in here this morning and thought London 2012 had come early and decided there was somewhere better to be. But it really is great to see so much enthusiasm around what's being planned around Leicester. I'm a former student at Demography University. It's gratifying to see so much of a community around independent media. Media 2012 is a network of independent journalists. It began really around 2006 at the Torino Olympic Games. Since then it's snowballed. It involved a number of different countries. We have partners in Russia, in Canada, in Brazil, and what we're trying to do is wrestle back some of the media control from the Olympic Games that has occupied its agenda for the last 20, 30 years. We're concerned that what happens around Olympic Games, particularly within the regions, within the local communities, isn't covered by the mainstream media, in part because they don't have the resources, but also because the agendas don't allow them to cover these more intimate stories. So we have 6 regions currently involved with Media 2012, of which East Midlands is one, and certainly one of the stronger regions that signed up to this. And the plan is that during the Olympic Games and the Paralympic Games, we develop a community that's able to talk to each other, share stories, and tell the narrative about what's happened around this Olympic Games. But as John mentioned earlier, it doesn't end with 2012. The idea is that what we learn during that process and the networks we develop go on to subsequent Olympic Games and to continue to be part of an international movement of citizen journalism. So when you think about your involvement for 2012 and your work around this particular media centre, the 2 things I would like to say is that one is that you're connected to a broader community around the UK that wish to share its stories with you, but you're also connected to a broader international movement, and not just the international movement of citizen journalists, but the range of people that will come to the UK and want to take part in developing those stories and connect with their own countries. The biggest thing that attracts me to the Olympic Games is how international it is. And the number of people that will be training around this region and will want to have their stories told to their communities will just be astronomical. So there's so much to learn from by being linked with these international groups that it's just a remarkable opportunity. And it seems to me that Leicester is ahead of the game in all sorts of ways. Having had the Special Olympics here, you're perhaps the only community in the UK that's had an Olympic Games since 1948. And it's clear that this has really become a very infectious experience for all of you here today. And there's a legacy to that that really is inspiring towards 2012. I hope other regions can develop a similar sense of enthusiasm about it. And I invite you to join our meeting later today to talk about what we're going to do next year. Thanks very much.